Hello and welcome to the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your moderator, Brandon Jones. Joining me this week, panelists Ben Moore.
What up?
Michael Damiani.
Yo!
My sympathetic co-moderator, Mr. Daniel Bloodworth.
Hello.
And making it all happen by starting the Zoom call in Slack, Ian Hink. Yes.
Ian, your stoner impressions are too good.
Who says they're impressions?
No, we know Ian does not.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
I've never
kidding.
tried grass.
If we're asleep halfway through, we'll know it's working. Distinguished guests, we are here to discuss some of the biggest headlines in the world of video games. But before we do that, we must answer for all of the mistakes we made last week. Ian, please begin corrections music.
Boop.
Matt Piscatella has a pinned tweet where you can see which days the NPD reports will release. So I just got to go visit him every once in a while. I follow him,
Nice.
but I missed those tweets. So there's your schedule there.
Beautiful.
With 16 out of 239 in 2018, the Rocksteady development team was only 6.694% women. So there we go. We were curious what was 16 out of
Okay.
239.
There's so many numbers.
I know.
Okay, I'm on board now.
Six
At first I was like, what?
Roughly, if you round up, about 7%. More than one person, rightfully so, pointed out that there are currently 0 women employed at Easy Allies. So, living in those glass houses and chucking stones.
Wait.
But also,
I thought I said 6% during the last podcast. I said 6.6%.
If you remember that, just kudos on
6.694.
that alone.
All right.
That's what I said. I said that in the podcast. Did I not? I did that math last time.
Well, you can
That
correct that.
happens
next
to me
week,
all
one
the time.
correction at
Ian.
a
Someone
time.
will complain, like make a correction of something, but like, didn't I know that already?
Maybe I just did the math and didn't say it. I don't know.
Perhaps we're all in a simulation.
Oh,
Perhaps I slipped back into the Berenstein universe.
According
Oh,
to,
God.
The
I'm glad
Berenstein universe
to wake up.
was the last. I didn't do that.
According to an EA earnings call from October of 2019, Dragon Age 4 will launch in April of 2022 at the absolute earliest.
Okay.
So you can mark that on your calendar if you are excited. Yakuza Like a Dragon is a next-gen timed exclusive on the Xbox Series X. So that will be appearing on that system first for next-gen, just for a brief period of time. According to the Fall Guys Discord, it's a timed exclusive to PlayStation, so that will be reaching other consoles later. Warhammer Age of Sigmar is the relaunch, reboot / sequel to of the original Warhammer Fantasy universe, the successor to Warhammer Fantasy Battle. The announced video game is the first to take place in the world of the Age of Sigmar, which was created after the destruction of the world that was at the conclusion of the End Times in 2015. So this has been building up to some fun stuff, and like I said,
End Times was the name of one of the
Vermintide was End Times.
DLCs. Yeah, Vermintide. Yeah. Okay.
so some more clarification there. Wolfenstein New Order was originally due for late 2013, but was delayed to 2014 in order for the devs to further polish the game. And Infamous was originally planned to be a launch game, but was delayed as well since they needed a, quote, bit more time, according to Chris Zimmerman. Also, games could have potentially launched, but consoles did not. End corrections music. Before we jump into the headlines, not all of which are positive, I'd like to start this podcast off on a somewhat positive note. I've asked people at our $5 and above tier on patreon.com/easyallies to be a part of our silver lining of this week's podcast, potentially something positive, something we can be happy about. John Ayer is certainly happy because he's been making a game in his spare time with 2 of his mates for close to 2 years now, and they were recently landed an epic mega grant. So this is Epic putting a lot of money into game development and picking people for the mega grant. This is the first I've heard of somebody specifically getting it, a follower of the podcast to boot. For the first time ever, we'll be able to work full-time on our Goofy game, which is something I've always dreamt of doing since the UT99 days, but I always thought it would be out of my reach. The game is called Bears in Space. It's a Time Splitters meets Ratchet & Clank absurd FPS, if you're keen to take a gander. Don't want to get too involved in that, obviously, because we might want to check it out and comment on it later on, but congrats to you, John. And it's always nice, because Epic is doing all sorts of things lately that people might not be super excited about. So this I think we can get behind. This I can root for. Their war with Apple, maybe not, but congrats, John, again.
That's fantastic.
Fantastic!
It looks fun.
How about
I'm looking at it.
the Mario 35th Anniversary Direct, Ben? Was that fantastic?
It's fine. I like Mario.
It's another
I don't understand why Galaxy 2 isn't
Right.
of
Where's that Galaxy 2?
It's honestly the only thing that really bugged me about it is the lack of Galaxy 2.
Super Mario
Everything
Brothers.
else
Yeah.
is like
So
highs
weird.
and
Damiani's
mediums.
gonna go off.
Yeah, hold on.
So
Get
weird.
ready. Rev your engines, Damiani.
I just feel like there's only a certain level of excitement that I can get for all those games that I've already played.
Yeah.
There's just a ceiling.
Agree with you, Ben. So
Super Mario's 35 years old because of that. They're doing a lot of Mario things this year, which we can get to in a second. But probably the biggest news to come out of that was Super Mario 3D All-Stars, featuring Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy, but not Galaxy 2. I will throw
Justice for Galaxy
my
2.
completely
Well, you know
unpopular opinion out there before I let any of you say anything, which is that this doesn't matter to me at all. And it's just one game per console. So I look at that and I go, oh, there you go. One console, two console, three console. Package done.
You know what would make that okay, Brandon Jones? If it cost $34.99.
But
$35.
But it is a $60.
Jones,
$60
I also want to
$60.
point out that in multiple instances they've included Super Mario: The Lost Levels in this presentation. Like, the nostalgia is not there for that game.
just want to
You
make
can
sure
play
you play
Lost
it at
Levels
some
on a
point.
Game & Watch now.
Yeah.
That
Do you
was
have all the
weird.
list of everything? Because I think we should run that down before we really dig into the opinions.
Well, all right. Super Mario All-Stars is coming to Nintendo Online Super Nintendo screen on your Switch there. That'll just pop in. Super Mario 35 was coming to Switch Online, playable until March 31st, 2021. We'll get to that in a second. Launches on October 1st. That is you playing Super Mario Brothers against 34 other people. And, stuff you do sends crazy stuff into their games and vice versa. Super
Yeah,
Mario
the timing is weird.
Super Mario 3D World coming to the Switch with Bowser's Fury. And we got a crazy long gameplay montage of a game. Talk about a game we'd already seen, Ben. I was very confused because I didn't think it was like coming to Switch, and they were just like, look at all this footage. I'm like, yep, that's Mario 3D World. Super Mario Brothers Game & Watch with Super Mario Brothers, a clock, Lost Levels, and Game & Watch Ball, which stars Mario. For those of you who are like, Game & what? I was definitely rocking the Game & Watch. They ever came out with a Game & Watch Mini, which would probably just be the same size because you can't make Game & Watches much smaller, that had all of those old Game & Watch games. I would totally be all over that.
My introduction to Game & Watch, I feel like maybe they were just good because I was a kid, but they had these Game & Watch collection Game Boy games
Right.
that had like a really cute style to them, and I loved those games as a kid.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
when
they
I
would be
found out
too
about them
simple
too.
now.
Like the closest thing for me, like to a Game & Watch, was like the Tiger Electronic games.
Okay, yeah.
But the actual
too.
Game & Watches
Yeah.
I had never seen.
Yeah, I still am unclear what they are until you just said that, because I was going to ask, I'm like, are these like Tiger things or what? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a ton of them. They were like, pre-NES. And even
It gets
yeah.
even
There was an
weirder.
Octopus one. That was my jam.
Yes,
I played that
yes,
all the
yes,
time.
yes,
where
yes.
You had to go down to the
You gotta
water,
go get
grab
the treasure.
and then
Yeah,
back up.
come back up.
Because there's Game & Watch, what
We're old.
you're describing, and then there's like the Game Watch, which actually was a Nintendo Watch with the game on it too. So, sometimes their branding's a little weird.
Not buying it though. Also, my Nintendo has a bunch of rewards, including pins. Mario Kart Tour is getting stuff. They got new Mario merch. There's a new course coming to Mario Maker 2. There's new Mario stuff coming to Smash Brothers, Splatoon 2. Animal Crossing is getting Mario furniture. And more themed products, I'm sure, that you can check on Nintendo.com. And they had a cute
Yeah, there's
little
like
montage
a lot of
at the
actual
end.
clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a cute little mainline montage that I'm sure nobody watched. That was everybody bailed right at the last minute.
Did you skip over Mario Kart, or did I miss it?
Oh, we will get to
Yeah.
that, sir.
He skipped it.
I will not skip Games to Life. How dare you, sir? Or Toys to Life, sorry. I really like, they said, the following will be our last announcement, which I don't think I've ever heard specifically that sentence uttered before in a direct, and the tone was deadly serious. It's like, all right, calm down, everybody. One more announcement and we're out. Like, we have a montage of all of the mainline Mario games coming. Do not expect an announcement after that. Shut your
Oh,
mouths.
you know what? That actually makes sense, because like if you're just watching that montage thinking they're going to do one more thing afterwards, and then it just ends.
You think it's leading up to Odyssey
Yeah.
2, and then you get pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is probably a good call in hindsight. Yeah.
We'll get to all that Galaxy 2 anger in just a second, but not before we mention Mario Kart Live Home Circuit launching on October 16th from Valens Studios, where you get a little toy Mario Kart and you put it on the ground and you drive it around your house while you're stuck at home thanks to COVID with your parents driving them crazy,
Your
freaking out the
downstairs
cat.
neighbors.
Yes, pissing off your downstairs neighbors.
you need a big space for this.
Yeah, well, we'll
Like a
see.
studio.
Challenge accepted, right? Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even sure the studio works for this thing. Like, you need space. Drive this little remote control car all
A
around.
parking lot.
Maybe it depends on how big or how
Parking lot would
far
be great.
apart you put the pylons or whatever. Maybe it scales up and down.
Oh yeah, it does, because if you see, they actually kind of show you like how it works.
They show you.
Yeah, because you basically have like a track creator thing where you put like paint on the tires, and so they just tell you to drive through all the gates, and then whatever route that you choose during that part, that's going to be the course.
The course. And it gets the AR view just from the onboard camera.
So you're
on
watching the
car?
camera on the car for listeners at home
Okay.
on your Switch, so you can see everything happening. Other racers and all of the items that you're throwing and other elements in the background are all added via AR to
and
the game. So
And this is the former founders of Vicarious Visions. Velen Studio is their new studio. So yeah, they've done a lot of cool creative and like technically cool stuff over the years.
This thing is crazy because like, what's the latency between the RC car and the Switch?
Yeah.
How much is this gonna cost? Because it would need to
$100.
cost $300 to be good enough to work right, and that's way too expensive.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's
Well, then they showed,
$100.
like, a
They said.
Luigi
Yeah,
cart,
it's
right?
$99.99. There's two.
Yeah, there's a
versions.
second car, so I'm sure you can buy the second one for $100 more.
which is probably why they didn't make a
$100.
series, because that's $100. You're lucky if people are going to buy two of these things. Whereas, of course, I'm like, where's Toad? Where's where's Bowser for Huber? I
would actually be really curious to see somebody that does have a lot of space, that he has just like a huge like warehouse or something. Just go all out with this thing. I'm curious how much distance you can put between gates.
Well, and what's the battery life on the car? Like, you'll only be able to race for if it's anything like RC cars in my life experience, you'll be able to play this thing for 7 minutes and then it'll run out of batteries.
Right. And is this advancing some technology where we could possibly put a human being inside the cart and then control that cart through Mario Kart? Like Damiani controlling Bossman inside the cart.
I'm like, what?
We can hope.
That's just called a go-kart, Jones.
Damiani, this is Toys to Life, baby. Of course I love this. I'm probably not going to buy it, but,
it's a little pricey. I don't think it's going to work as well as it was shown in the video.
Okay.
I think it's going to be like extremely
Not a
shaky
chance.
cam. So I expect a lot of jittering and stuff. I know they'll maybe try and do some kind of camera steadying for it. But all the things you talked about, the issues, it's just, I misunderstood this at first. It was hilarious. When I first saw this, because I saw this stuff so out of order and in random ways over the day, I thought it was a device that scanned your room, and then on your Switch, it just simulated your room as tracks in AR. And I was like, okay, this is kind of interesting and cool. And then later on, I saw a link to a toy, and I'm like, oh, the camera is on a race car. I was like, I get it now. Oh, yeah, you need like a hardwood floor. So I was kind of excited about it at first because it's like, oh, interesting. Like, this is going to kind of be popular. Now I know it's $100 and there's a lot of caveats to how you can use it. But I mean, it's an interesting take on, as you said, the Toys to Life genre, and being from that team behind it with their new studio. I don't see the harm in it. Nintendo kind of does something like this roughly like every year. I mean, we got, I think back to Labo when we got that craziness, and it's
New
more the same
Labo.
thing. And even if it's not for everyone, it's for somebody. I don't think there's any harm in it. It's
For
fine.
it to run well, it's gonna have to, what is it called, photogrammetry or something? It's gonna have to like cache the room slightly
Maybe,
to like
yeah.
make a model of the room. Like, that's what I assumed it would do if it's gonna run without a bunch of weird latency, is like when you're making the course, you drive at a certain like it'll keep your car at a certain speed and you go like really slowly, and while it's doing that, it's making you go at the pace it needs so that it can photograph the room. And then it's like Google Maps, and then you're just like street viewing through it, and it's
But
got
they
it
show
saved.
knocking things over.
That's true. It did look pretty active.
Yeah.
Jeez, this thing. Yeah, there's no way. I mean, there is a way, but I doubt it.
I'm
That
bummed
would work.
because with the current situation with working from home, there's no way to go to a preview event and like really see this thing shown
yeah.
off.
This would make such a good.
And I don't have
group
anywhere to
stream.
use it.
Yeah, this would be an amazing stream.
Yeah.
Really hard to film stream.
It I agree. I
Oh,
think
we
it's
just
bad.
clear out the whole stream room and then.
Yeah, just make us like a little oval track just to test it and go from there. You know, you can even do it like Nintendo style. Like each Grand Prix gets like more difficult. So you like start like on like the beginner course. This is an oval. Then like we could like modify it, add like more turns and shortcuts. Think about the shortcuts you can do. Oh yeah,
I'm curious what they do about that actually.
Yeah,
because
if you skip
it
a
is
gate.
just a virtual course. So like when you drive over the line, like what happens?
I wonder if it like
Well, it showed the
stops
car
your cart.
spin out.
Yeah, I wonder if
okay.
it like stops it and makes you won't let you go forward. Maybe you have to go back. I don't know. Yeah, I'd like to see that. You're right, Blood. I
it
would
showed
love to
in
see this
the-
Get the
demo.
$500 Lakitu drone to come in.
In the trailer, in the game, it gets hit by like an enemy, and in game it like wobbles. But I think it showed the real life car slow down a little bit when that happened. So you do get a real life analog. I doubt that it spins in real life, but
I want to. Did they show anything about like the two cars working in tandem, or is it just like there's no multiplayer? It's just single player, right?
It
I
seems like there
assume
was
you need-
multiplayer.
She brought in
switches,
her
but I
other
didn't-
car as if to say, like, all right, I got mine now. Let's do
So
this.
Yeah.
I foresee a lot of angry children who
Oh,
don't
yeah.
like their sibling beating them and will do their own blue shell by going over and like stumping the car. I hope they account for that. Be like, you got blue shell. It's just like a kid going. Oh, I want to see that. But I expect a lot of broken cars over this in real life, and then they'll understand the frustration of the blue shell, and maybe it'll be removed.
How many cats and dogs and iguanas and,
Oh.
and various
yeah.
animals are gonna
They
like
should
come
give
in and wreck
your
stuff?
pets Yoshi faces and stuff. Or
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that is
Man, they're
actually
gonna
an
be-
interesting point because even though you have the camera, you sort of lose some sense of awareness if you're looking at the Switch and not at the car itself.
Jones, it's so funny that you say that because my cats have knocked over Amiibo plenty of times. Plenty of times. There's just
There are gonna be a
sometimes I'll
lot of
just
really
look at the
funny-
ground and what's up?
there are gonna be a lot of funny YouTube videos out of this. I think, like a car going up to a dog and him just being like the dog lays down on the track or something, and the car just like.
I kind of miss the early days of YouTube where somebody would just upload themselves breaking their television with their Wii remote.
Yeah. Bring those days back.
But the main thing, two main things that people are freaking out about, Damiani and, the rest of the panel, I will give you now an opportunity to explain to me why, obviously, if more games are in this, that would be lovely, but it is a crime that Galaxy 2 is not included in Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Sell me.
Just on the
Just go
that's a
down, yeah.
crime. About Galaxy 2. I mean, we kind of already mentioned it. I mean, it's a really good game. You have to think if they're not including it, it means. So I think some people got a little miffed about the trailer. They showed like a montage of Mario games at one point at the end, and Galaxy 2 is just absent from it. So people think Nintendo is either just not acknowledging Galaxy 2 right now. And it is a critically acclaimed game. It is. Some people argue it's better than the original. It's a back and forth battle there. It's weird when you don't include it, other than the one game, one console rule maybe you're throwing out there, Jones. But I mean, this is Nintendo; they can do whatever they want with this.
Oh, sure.
And-
Yeah, I'm not talking about hard and fast rules. It's
Yeah,
just
it's-
when I
it's-
saw...
it's a little
when
weird because-
a celebration, they were talking... Look at the big
Damiani,
graphical
are you-
leaps.
Are you proposing that Nintendo is doing some kind of like Disney thing with how they don't allow they soft ban people talking about Max because they don't like people thinking about Goofy having sex?
No, I don't think it's that. I think I think Nintendo is greedy. I think they are. They have always done this. They've always put a premium on their IP. They're very protective of their brand's value. This reeks of one of the most greedy grabs they've done in a long time. And I'm not even gonna get into the. I don't want to even talk about the disappointment because the disappointment about the Mario 64 stuff is more on me than anyone else. That was my fault for believing dumb rumors and always saying stop believing dumb rumors, thinking it was gonna be like a remake, like a Shadow of the Colossus style visual upgrade to Super Mario 64. It's the same game, just up-res. All these are same games, just up-resed again. But Sunshine is 16.9. The problem with this is they are charging $60 for these 3 games. And you know what? Nintendo is now the king of lazy, greedy ports. I don't want, and no one can go after Activision. Activision's usually like an EA. Activision did Spyro and Crash trilogies, like ground up visual overhauls for 3 games at less of a price than this. And Nintendo can't even be bothered to do, like, they're not adding anything to this other than like the music collection. Nothing significant, and charging $60 and add insult to injury. They're forcing the supply demand thing here. They are artificially creating demand for this. More, it is going to sell well, but they're making it even more of a panic buy by saying it's only available digitally and physical copies until what, March 1st, March 31st,
Right.
whatever it is. And then they're vaulting. I thought you were going to say Ian Disney with the vaulting stuff.
I thought as well,
this.
yeah.
Apparently, we don't know. So clarify, we don't know if they're vaulting this. They might just break up and sell them individually, like the collection. They might just.
That's what I think. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was, a theory
the
that I
collection will go away. You'll be able to buy them separately.
I mean, I hope that's it, but we don't know. With Nintendo, we don't know.
But like, does that then mean that each game individually will sell for like
more
$30 or something?
probably
Because it's like,
yes.
otherwise, what's the value?
well,
also,
Mario
$30
64
is
was
way too high for
$10
that.
on Wii, right?
Right. So like, they should
So
all be
10, 20, 30,
This thing-
basically.
Right.
And this is
Yeah.
stuff they used to do for a reasonable amount of money or effort. These collections, they either packed way more games on them, so they made it worth it, or they made it as part of a special thing. Like, I think of the Zelda Collector's Edition, that GameCube disc that came with all those Zelda games on it, and you either got it by, if you bought a new GameCube, you got it for free with that. If you subscribed to Nintendo Power for a year, you got it for free as part of that. If you bought 2 of any qualifying game at the time, you got it for free. So like, it wasn't, you had to buy other stuff to get it, but even an subscription Nintendo Power was like $24.99, whatever. It was like $30. All these like things they've done, like these collections they've had available at one point in the past, were very reasonable and felt like a nice reward, a bonus. This, when they're celebrating the 35th anniversary and this is like your biggest thing, I'm not knocking the quality of games. You know, I love Mario games. I love all 3 of these games. They're freaking fantastic. But this was not it. And it doubly irritates me that Nintendo thinks they're so high up and mighty with their secrecy. This shit was leaked for months. We knew this was coming, and they don't give us any warning and shadow drop it. I don't like the excuses anymore about, like, this is the way they do it. It's shitty to people to, like, just shadow drop it and stuff. Like, there was no reason to shadow drop this. You could have given us a heads up. It sucks for people, for like us, where we'd like to do reactions. Everyone's asking, where are reactions to this? I get tweets like, where were your reactions, Dominic? I was asleep because Nintendo didn't have the damn decent courtesy to give me like 12 hours notice or something, like the worst of the world. It's like, I mean, I'm getting a little tired of this, honestly. But anyway, I'm not very excited about the 3D All-Stars. Sorry, 3D All-Stars specifically. There's other stuff I'm pretty like sold on and more excited about, but this collection is nothing but a disappointment to me.
Oh, I just pulled up the Wii U shop for Super Mario Galaxy is $20.
Why they didn't bring up those?
So
Oh, watch them
how
delist that.
does $60 come out of a $20 game, a $10 game, and an unknown, which I wouldn't imagine would be more than $20?
Sunshine costs $50 on its own. You know,
Because
it's rare.
It's the Switch tax.
They took the Shield.
Yeah.
They took the Shield versions that are over in the Chinese Shield that are already HD and just porting those over. So, it'll be interesting to see when people get hands on them and able to run it through its paces, because they said 64 there is 960 by 720p, so it's still 4:3. The other two will run 1080. Sorry, Sunshine is not 60 frames. It's still 30 frames. But I guess Galaxy is 60 frames, 1080.
Nice.
But only when docked. It won't, in handheld, it won't be that. Sure. Nice thing, though, one nice thing I will say about it, Galaxy will let you use a Pro controller instead of motion control. It will still support Joy-Cons for the old motion waggle controls for like the star bits and
I mean,
pulling
you can
yourself.
waggle the Pro controller.
You could, but like we're assuming because as Pro support, you don't need to do any motion controls. You just pointed out something, Blood. Maybe you do.
Yeah, I mean, Splatoon uses motion control.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
Origami King as well, but you can turn that off.
Freaking Breath of the Wild to do those things. I had to like spin
I was
my
gonna
Pro
say
controller
if
around.
they remapped it to not having to do any kind of motion, it gives some hope towards the Skyward Sword HD stuff that people are also a rumor that people are supposing is going to happen.
Yeah, I imagine that game is highly likely to, if it comes out, it would highly likely use the Joy-Cons and not a Pro controller.
Fellas, it's 2020. Hope is a mistake.
I don't want to oversell my feelings on this collection because I do want those games on the Switch, and I'm excited about that. And I want a lot of Nintendo games on Switch, and I enjoy playing things on my Switch. Those are great games. I like that, and I've wanted that. But I think the price definitely stings, as we've already mentioned. But I think there's kind of other things influencing the disappointment a little bit. And obviously, the situation, you have to have some sympathy for everything that's going on. It's a chaotic situation. But I think, one, there really isn't any big first-party Nintendo game that I can think of that's coming out in the rest of 2020. And so it just doesn't feel like there's, like, it's like we have this overpriced collection, we have another overpriced re-release in the form of Pikmin 3, and there's really nothing else at the end of this year that I can think of. And then you also have, I think, the additional frustrating fact that the Nintendo Online offerings are just so sporadic and limited in what they're giving. And I would love if it was like, hey, we're giving you these games through a service that you're already paying for. Maybe that's asking too much, but I think the idea that I'm just generally trying to say is it feels like it's asking a lot for not that much.
Right.
You're very right, Ben. I hope I don't come across too mean here. I'm just trying to be calling it like it is. But I want to go along with Ben's point. I think the issue also here is Nintendo's having a record year. Software sales, Animal Crossing might go on to be the best-selling game of all time, especially in Japan. The Switch is way ahead of its marks. There really isn't any pressure, any financial pressure for Nintendo to have any sense of urgency or any necessity to put out anything like a big AAA title right now. Everything's doing really well, so something like this feels like it's just enough. I don't want to dismiss the current situation of the world as like it obviously had some effects on Nintendo and everyone else, and Nintendo's just not being as forthcoming about that, and we're starting to like understand as we go further and further, and there's no new AAA games from them. It's like, they obviously got pushed back, but I feel like this might be the way it's going to be for a while. Like it'll be the status quo for Nintendo until they get some pushback. And with the new consoles coming out, and they're also not having the greatest lineups right now. We don't even know when they're coming out. We don't know the cost. We don't know we hardly know any of the software. I don't think Nintendo's feeling any pressure. They're just like, we're great. We're good right now. We don't need to give you an update on Breath of the Wild 2. It's not coming out anytime soon because we don't need it to come out anytime soon. I don't know. I get like that vibe that like they're just doing so well. And this is what happens. We get stuff like this, which is they're trying to celebrate the 35th anniversary, but you look at what other companies are doing, what they do with their collections, what they do with their treatments to their legacy series, and when you throw in the price in there, it's just there's only so much you can be like, it's Nintendo, yeah, like they're good games, like I love them and stuff. It's like this time it's like no, I get off on this stop here.
Do you think conceivably stuff got canceled or maybe even pushed to 2021 that they had planned?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the thing is they've avoided announcing things so that they don't have to deliver the bad news of delaying them, and so I think that's part of why we get stuff like this and the Paper Mario short notice and the Pikmin 3 short notice, because this is just they're waiting until they're absolutely clear when these things can come out before they announce them.
Yeah.
And like a lot of that stuff is coming out this month, and I'm actually, pretty curious about Super Mario 35. I probably won't play a ton of it, but put a couple nights in.
And I think that's totally understandable, and I you have to kind of take into account the impact that this situation has had on so many things. And obviously they charge the prices that they do because it works, right? So it's kind of a moot point. Like they're going to charge if people are going to pay for it. But I think just in terms of interest or excitement, it's as you said, Damiani, it's hard even when you love those games to be like, woo, It just doesn't. It just feels like there's no kind of what you were mentioning with other companies, that there's no. I don't know. Cynical is way too strong of a word here, but there's no. They're not really capitalizing on the opportunity of re-releasing these games beyond doing, I think, the minimum that they could do.
Yeah, and this is the part of it is it's not just the first time they've done this. They have a history of doing kind of lower effort things like this, and it being just passable, acceptable. Whereas other companies will get called out more for it, and you'll see people start accusing or certain people being biased towards Nintendo, like, oh, you're just defending them and stuff because, you know, whatever, your attachment and stuff to it. And it's like the Michael Jordan of basketball. Everyone used to say Michael Jordan playing in Chicago would never get a foul called on him because everyone loved him, refs loved him, like no one would do it. That's like Nintendo. Oh, like they get special treatment and stuff because everyone loves them. They're so big. And you know, there is maybe a little bit of truth to that, but like not really. It's not. I mean, they've had their fair share of like missteps and like been called out for stuff too. But like again, like seeing like like reviewing the Spyro Reignited trilogy, playing through the Crash Insane trilogy, and then seeing them revive, like even Crash Team Racing, like they did with that was insane. Like these other companies are stepping up and doing that so much about that. I just want it's disappointment. I just want to see Nintendo do that again, or like once again with one of these like of their older games, like just do something special with it. I do want to say something nice though. Again, maybe we could change it to one of the other games. Someone else said something about 35th, the Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. I'm actually kind of excited about that. I feel like that should have been like. I feel like this is the biggest announcement because of online multiplayer for that game. That is like fantastic, and all the added content. There's a lot of speculation going on about how much content they're adding to it.
Right.
They're going to talk about it at a later date, but I mean, people already. I don't know if this means anything, but people already mine the data size difference, I guess, and it's like the original version is the Wii U version's like 1.7 gigabytes, and Switch version's 5.0 gigabytes. So people are like, ooh, there's a lot of new stuff. Who knows if that really translates to anything? But I mean. I think it's gonna be perfect, especially for us. We need a remote good Groot stream game with online 3D World. You know, Huber was like Huber
just
probably
gonna say,
was
Huber's
happy
down.
about
Huber's
this.
completely down.
Huber's like, yes.
I mean,
here
Huber
we
probably
go.
made it happen, right?
Yeah.
That's usually
Huber
how it goes.
willed this
Yeah.
one, man. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that one, actually.
Michael Huber, we just need something to add to 3D World. Could be about any character, any name. Just throw some words at us. Bowser's Fury.
That is so
Fury. Get to work.
It was so dramatic too, that like ending tease, man.
Yeah, and it's perfectly memeable. You know, there's this plus sign that you go into, and you know, I saw many things. Elder Scrolls V was my favorite, but this window, Damiani, I do want to touch on this just a little bit more because you only have 6 months or so, you know, 5, 6, 7 months to access some of this content, which, like you were saying, like there's no desperation at Nintendo. You know, they're doing fine right now. Their sales are up. They don't need to do anything drastic. This seems incredibly drastic and something that, I mean, is kind of hilarious to me just because of how blatantly of a tactic it is to just get people to come in and buy something. You're creating scarcity over something that just, you know, is artificial. It doesn't need it. So would it be the worst thing in the world if this does really well for them? Would they be like, oh, we have to sell everything this way?
I'll give them benefit of the doubt here. I don't think this is ever going to become the standard for them. Like the whole Disney Vault stuff, I don't think they're ever actually going to seriously embrace something like that.
Is this widescreen and Super Mario 64 benefit of the doubt, or what are we talking about here? How much?
I think that, so with this, I think it's just, I think this is a technicality. I think it's running till their calendar year for them. Their fiscal year goes till March. I think they're just pulling it at the end of their fiscal year. I think it wasn't arbitrary. I think they just picked that as their time.
Yeah.
And
then it's the 36th anniversary, and that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like it doesn't
right.
make sense.
Honestly, no, but honestly, yeah, because they've done stuff like that before, if I'm not mistaken. With well, they did the Year of Luigi, and they've done other stuff where it's like they're very actually very literal about like this is the anniversary, and then once that's done, it's done. You know. I think that they've done stuff like this before for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, I could be horribly wrong. I did read something. It was an interesting opinion I saw on Twitter about maybe they're doing it because, again, we don't know their Q1, Q2 launch software lineup, except for Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury at this point, with a confirmed date. Maybe they want this to carry over in that window to help not only boost their sales, but because it's a limited time. Let's say you don't have a Switch. Let's say you want this game and you wanted both. It's like you got to go out and buy that now in this window. If like maybe you're waiting for Switch Pro or something, those rumors of the Switch Pro happening, maybe this is their way to get you to go buy it within this window specifically because they need, like, it's part of their plan. Like they actually have goals that they might be worried about. Maybe their momentum might actually slow down next year, and they're like, no, this created demand will help us reach those and maintain that momentum.
It all comes back to the shareholders every time.
It is. I really don't know enough about Furukawa, the current head of Nintendo. All I could say is, like, I mean, this feels like more of a very business decision. This is purely business. Their Nintendo stocks are doing very well, and business is good, and they just want to keep it up. And as you said, they got to keep shareholders happy. I just wonder if, I just wonder if that's like really the only reason why this is happening. I would be very curious to know.
It's business, Mario. It's not personal.
Yeah.
Ben, do you give them the benefit of the doubt? Do you think this is a dangerous trend? The get it now while you still can?
I mean,
people
like,
are. I say that because we sound kind of timid on the subject, and people are pissed. I'm seeing a lot of people that are
sure.
very, very, very scared.
The word dangerous, I think. I don't know. Nintendo overprices stuff. Absolutely. Yeah, it's been a consistent problem for a very long time, right? That they sometimes charge more than what they deliver, and they don't always. Sometimes it feels like you're fighting with Nintendo rather than them fighting for you, and like. I don't know. It's tough because there are so many instances with, like, not just the Switch, but over the years, I mean, it's been a struggle getting Nintendo to just have, like, good online play. Like, playing Smash Brothers online is still a mess, right? But at the same time, it sort of feels like we're complaining about things that people already know about. Like, you already know that Nintendo is a big dumb elephant, and you already know all of this stuff. Like, you already know that there's a lot to deal with, right? And it's also true that they make some of the best, most unique experiences year after year at the same time, and so you put up with it for that. So there's plenty to criticize, there's plenty to praise. If people think this is bullshit, they're right, but it is not unexpected.
It seems to me like it's a prime example of just vote with your wallet. Like, if you're pissed about it, don't buy the damn thing. And maybe they'll get the message if enough people don't buy it.
And I think that's it. I think that's the thing that causes the most anger, Ian, is, like...
They never get the message?
People don't send that message.
People don't send that message because they love the game so much.
And then, again,
yes.
the Disney Nintendo analog happens again, where it's like they can just do whatever the hell they want.
Right.
People will pay it.
Yeah, the message will be loud and clear.
So many people are like, I'm angry about this Vault time thing. I already pre-ordered it. It's like,
yeah.
We did get one comment from last podcast. We're like, what is this, 50, 100 day, 100 a day? What is this from? They're like,
2,000 days, 10,000
I've
days.
followed you through
People
several
pay it.
podcast episodes and live streams, and this seems to be a thing. Who said that first?
seems to be
It's Jurassic Park, everybody.
Turns out it's 2,000. Huber and I always say 5,000 a day, 10,000 a day. It's 2,000 a day, 10,000 a day.
2,000, 10,000.
So there's a little correction from the
Got it.
source.
What's Nintendo going to make on this? 2,000 a day? 10,000? I think a lot of people are going to buy in. I'm very curious to see when Nintendo does this again, because they are...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanna see if they've fixed some controls in Sunshine, and I want to see both of those games in HD, for sure.
I do
Man, it's
really
just-
want to replay Sunshine.
Yeah, I mean that's it. That's the
Forgive me,
there you go. They
me,
I just
I'm
want to
weak.
buy it for like $10-15, $20.
Well, as
Yeah,
I
I know.
expressed,
Well, that's-
I'm super ignorant with the
$34.99.
Galaxy series. I played neither Galaxy 1 or 2, so
I think see
Ignorant.
they got everyone.
Yeah.
But
The music is
I
so
think-
good,
know.
Jones.
I think what's so infuriating is when you are the top dog and could be more generous. You could do this in a better way. And
But you don't have to.
but
so
you
never
don't
will.
have to, so you won't.
Hey,
Yeah.
at least
Yeah,
they
I
haven't.
mean, just redo the logo, put a 1+2 on that Galaxy, and
Yeah, then I'd pay $60 for that.
Or Super Mario Galaxies.
Yeah, perfect.
Maybe
Perfect.
that's maybe they're gonna
was
reveal
it.
that.
But as I was gonna say, hey, at least they're not delisting the Wii U
Yeah.
versions of those games at a cheaper price just yet.
just yeah.
Yeah,
stay tuned.
They will.
Yeah.
They
The
will.
day this goes on sale, everyone please check the Wii U shop. Make sure it's
Galaxy's
not
Super
delisted
Mario.
because they've
The
done
moment-
this with every other Wii
Yeah.
U port.
The moment I
you
hit
s-
export on this podcast,
If you still have
Yeah.
your Wii U hooked up to your TV right now, let us know. Write a comment.
There's literally like 4 years of dust on Omar's Wii U over there. It hasn't moved.
and now, a word from our sponsors. We were given a Pro X wireless headset that's on Ian's head. Right now, is that what's holding your hair up so beautifully? What is
No, there's a clamp,
it? A clip clamp?
whatever they're called, butterfly clip, back there too, doing the bulk of the work.
So you've been wearing it. You've been showing it off. Another week has gone by. Still
Yeah,
something you
it's
dig.
pretty
Still
dark
something
in
you
here
like
right now,
using.
Yeah, I like them because they're wireless. I can walk around, hear stuff. When I'm playing a video game like Destiny 2,
I was
put it
very
on.
lucky. I almost said some
Got a mic.
some terrible things about Ian because I was like, he's away from his desk, quick. And he was like, ha.
I was like, I can hear
Oh,
you.
I
yeah.
can still hear you. Gotta be careful.
I swapped out. I learned last week that these are called leatherette. It's very hot
Right.
in my apartment, so I swapped out the leatherette ear cups for the velour ear cups, just like Zap Brannigan's uniform.
Yes.
And they let my ears breathe a little.
Don't tempt me to read the rest. Based on the award-winning pro gaming headset design.
I don't ever leave my house because I'm terrified of everything, but I gotta bring this to the studio, Jeff, so you can pick it up.
I know.
Oh, there's
I got
a second
another
one,
one.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sent me two.
Yeah. Everybody at home's
Thanks,
like,
Logitech.
oh yeah, he said Logitech. He gets to show off his. I don't have them. There's something.
Yeah. I'm actually secretly hoarding it just to drive
Bender's
Jones
closer to those
insane.
headphones than I am. Speaking of, based on the award-winning pro gaming headset design, the Pro X wireless headset features high-quality materials, advanced communications, precision audio, and total wireless freedom. It has light-speed wireless technology and up to 20 hours of battery life, 20 plus. There's a detachable pro-grade microphone featuring real-time Blue Voice technology, including passive noise isolation, a compressor, limiter, and more for clean professional voice comms. Advanced Pro
A note about that. A note about that, Jones. First day I got it, I didn't have the G Hub installed, the Logitech G Hub software, and so it worked plug and play, just raw with the thing plugged in. When I put in the G Hub stuff, then I got all that blue tech and all that stuff, so it sounded way better. It sounded good out of the box with the earphones, but yeah, that improves it. So don't forget to do that.
Advanced Pro G drivers deliver clear and precise sound imaging with improved bass response. Hear footsteps and environmental cues with clarity to give you the competitive edge with supreme comfort and durability. The Pro X has a pro-grade, sleek, and minimal design that's built to last with premium aluminum and a steel reinforced headband. Its ultra-comfortable memory foam earpads and headbands are wrapped in plush leatherette and provide passive noise isolation. Extra velour earpads are also included for a softer feel. For a limited time, Logitech G is offering our listeners 10% off of select products at logitechg.com. Use code EASYA, that's easy, the word easy, EASYA, for 10% off today. That's 10% off select Logitech G products with promo code EASYA. That's EASYA for the code, and logitechg.com.
Like the Emma
it couldn't
Stone
be
movie.
easier.
And now I'm going to try to get through this next read with only saying this word once. Alexa. I'm always looking for ways to make my life better. And one way that That device makes my life better, definitely. That's what's playing music every single time we feed Milo lunch, we feed Milo dinner. We got the Bert and Ernie playlist is a favorite lately, digging up some old classics that I haven't heard, but also operates the lights. I know this activates in your house, Ian, because I've heard you utter as
I was
such.
just counting how many of these we have. We have at least 4 plugged in, and I have 3 other ones, because they sent me an Echo Dot, which is the newer version. Very sleek.
But specifically, that device also works with lights, which I have set up in my house as well. It is very nice to turn on the light before I enter a room that Milo is in, so I can just turn it on to a low setting or turn it off when I am leaving. And right now, Amazon is offering a special smart lighting bundle for our listeners. With an Amazon smart lighting bundle, you can turn your home into a smart home in just minutes. Setup is easy. You don't need any extra equipment. Just connect your new smart bulb to the Echo Dot and you're all set. Set every possible mood with over 16 million light colors to choose from, or control the lights in your home with the sound of your voice. Just say, turn on the lights. You can also set lighting routines to gently wake you up in the morning, help you wind down at night, completely turn off at a certain time. This stuff is super fun. I've been using this for a long time and it's fantastic. Right now, you can get 20% off of your Amazon Smart Lighting Bundle only at amazon.com/allies. Every bundle includes an Echo Dot smart speaker and a Singled color-changing light bulb. That's amazon.com/allies to get 20% off and take advantage of this amazing smart home deal. Amazon.com/allies.
This is the light bulb. I'm gonna put it.
What?
I'm gonna mount. I want to mount it up behind me.
Listeners, how about
But I
that
haven't
light bulb there, huh?
found a way.
How about that light
That's
bulb?
nice. The background.
Very
You can
nice,
change-
listeners.
You can change the color. Let me see if I can do it. Whoa.
There it is.
Whoa.
Ah.
I'm using the app right now, but I could use
Listeners,
my
the
voice.
color's
but I
changing at
won't.
this point.
I feel like you're
Yeah.
about to hunt ghosts.
Right.
That's what you look like.
And now Ian's putting away the light and we're getting on with the podcast. Thank you to Amazon.
Ow.
And if you are a patron of Easy Allies, thank you.
Shout out.
Shout out to the patrons. Starting a new month. We'll get to those shout outs later. GeForce had a special event. Take it away,
Yeah.
Michael Damiani. I don't get it. Graphics cards. I'm good.
Yeah,
I don't know.
graphics cards. You like?
I don't
you
know.
like graphics cards?
$1,499. It seems like a lot to spend on a graphics card.
I
actually
mean,
know, does
that's
it?
one
That's
of the,
the big
prices.
one.
That's like the Titan.
What? Isn't that what you want to
That's-
get? Everybody keeps
Ti-
saying
the
380,
Titan's
380.
Like, the
Everybody's saying
Titan was like
380.
the
I want the
Neo
best.
Geo of the day. It was like nobody had that. That's too powerful. What you
Yeah.
want, what you might be more interested in, Jones, are in the two low models, the 3080 and the 3070, coming in at $699 and $499.
Yeah.
And just so you know, so to put this in perspective,
Okay.
so for people who don't know, Nvidia announced their new Ampere GPUs, their graphics cards, are coming out. Some are coming out this month, and one's coming out the September 17th.
I think it's pre-orders open 17th. I don't think they come out
Sorry,
the
yeah.
17th.
It says release date on the press release. So it says release
Really?
date. GeForce RTX 3080 releases on September 17th for $699.
Well, shoot.
The GeForce RTX 3090, which is essentially a Titan, comes out on September 24th for $1,499. And then sometime in October, the GeForce RTX 3070 will be coming
Got
out
it.
for $499. To put this into perspective, 2 years ago, I bought an RTX 2080 Ti. It's not pronounced Ti, it's pronounced Ti. I was corrected.
Ooh.
But
Are you
TI,
kidding me?
apparently. But I'll call it Ti
Wow.
as well.
Hey, 3 of us have that.
Yeah. And those were
I've
like
got the
those were
2080
like $1,200
Super.
to $1,300.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes more expensive.
I'm sorry, Damian. I'm sorry. Did anybody else want to flex? Can we get this taken care of before we move
Yeah.
on with the story? I
No,
don't want
I'm
to just
about
run
I'm
through
about to
this.
be deflated, Jones.
Let's talk
I am
about
about to be so
CPUs.
deflated right now.
I just had the 280 full stop. Should I leave this conversation? Am I allowed to be
Yeah.
here?
You're
Yeah,
about to,
yeah.
you're about to
If
put
you
me
could
to
just
shame,
kinda-
You should go.
Jones.
You
Leave
should
the
go.
call.
Jones.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
spent that money, and now that card is worth like $200 because the RTX 3070 is going to be roughly about 20% more powerful than my 2080 Ti for
can't get used to this tie.
$499. For
I don't like it either.
$499 for $500, my $1,200 card is now outdated.
Well, that's like the first,
There you
purple item you grab in Burning Crusade. I've played this game before. It's
Yeah.
MMO expansion logic, of course.
Yep.
I definitely bought the 2080 Super, which just came out like the end of last year, isn't it?
Yeah, that was
I bought
our
it for
last year's
$600.
refresh.
But
Yeah,
Damiani,
got it for $600, and now I'm just gonna get the 3080 for $700.
you've been talking about this forever.
Right?
Every time we bring up Xbox, every time we talk about Sony and Microsoft engaged
Yes.
on the battlefield, just making each other's
Very good
mouths
point.
bleed. You're always like, just wait. Well, we waited. It happened. What's changed? Did you get?
This is
Were you
actually
surprised
interesting.
by what they offered?
I was surprised. I'm surprised at the pricing because I wonder if both Sony and Microsoft. We've always been saying that they've been like kind of playing chicken with each other about who's going to go first with the full release date and price. I wonder if they both knew that this was coming for a while and also wanted to see how much these cost because it might affect their pricing as well if they want to remain competitive. The thing is, the two lower end cards, the 3080 and the 3070, which have really good specs on them for their price, which is surprising for
There's
Nvidia.
nothing low end about the 80.
Yeah, when I say lower end, I'm comparing it to the 3090. Like it's their middle. They might introduce other cards, but their middle tier one, which is really might be their best card since the 1080 Ti. I want to say Ti too. Anyway, it's their value. They're actually really good values, and Nvidia for the last few years has not been good at this. They've been overcharging. They have been not been pushed by a lot of competition from anyone else. And now, because of some faults that were in the first RTX line, the Turing stuff, they are now actually being reasonable and being a little bit competitive here. And it's nice to see that. It will be very interesting to see how this impacts anyone and how many people about their purchasing decisions going into this holiday season. Will people rather spend $500 to upgrade to an RTX 3070, which will arguably be more powerful than anything in the next-gen consoles in terms of GPU power, or
Maybe not even arguably.
I mean, I'm just saying that for argument's sake because
Sure.
I'm not that big of a tech expert here. Obviously, people like Digital Foundry and other places will have to get their hands on all these and put it through their paces. They don't have the new consoles yet. We don't know. They know what's in them, but like they can't do full testing just yet. Or will people still want to stick with the consoles? Also, like the launch lineups. Right now, for me personally, I'm all on board with this. There's nothing that makes me want to buy one of the new consoles at launch right now. I have zero interest in those consoles till some killer app comes out for them next year. And it feels like it's going to be next year at some point. Even Ratchet and Clank launch window, I'm assuming it's going to be next year. So some point next year when Sony and Microsoft finally have some games for their system, I will be interested in buying it. Right now, I'm going to get this because you want to play Cyberpunk 2077. You want to play it the best way possible. This is the best way to play it. So combine those two together, and like I feel like Nvidia made a really good call here. And I think if you're one of the console, if you're Sony and Microsoft, you have to be a little bit worried about this. Especially Microsoft, I feel has to be a little bit worried about this.
Wow. Here with a spicy console comeback, Daniel Bloodworth, go. Get him, Blood.
I mean, the only real comeback I can have is that, closed architecture allows people to really, flex the muscle of what's there, since they can put the focus into that rather than, accounting for all the possible configurations. And then, on the PlayStation end, we've got the 3D audio and the controller stuff, and so there's extra little perks that go beyond just the graphics card in these consoles. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a pretty big deal. Like these cards are going to be able to outperform for people that can take advantage of that. Like 8K whatever. Like that's a pretty high end user to be able to do anything 8K.
Real quick, can I just clarify? When I said Microsoft might worry more, I meant for their hardware. Obviously, they're going to be thrilled with all the Game Pass and all their service stuff. They're going to they're going to be like, beautiful, perfect.
Oh yeah.
But their hardware,
this thing can actually run Microsoft Flight Simulator.
all 20 discs at once.
But do you think, Ben, did Microsoft or Sony have a meeting about this either today or when they heard about it? Like, do you think that this is going to change up their schedule of when they're going to announce prices or anything they'll be doing in the next 4 or 5 months?
No. I the way that, and this has been changing with Microsoft, but like there is a pretty clear divide a lot of times between the console audience and the PC audience. So I don't think new graphics cards is really truly terrifying in any significant way for either company. I think there is a small percentage of people where it does influence them, like us, for instance. But I don't think that's a lot of people. Like if you have conversations with a lot of people that play games, there aren't that many that are both PC people and console people. It tends to be one or the other, and so I think the audiences are segmented enough that's not a huge deal. But as somebody who does enjoy playing on both immensely and feels an obligation to get these new consoles for his job, I'm in this like frustrating position where, and first world problems here, but like, do I go ahead and get this new graphics card, even though I probably don't need it and the 2080 Ti will be fine? Or do I get it because it does seem like a good value? I don't know. What I'm trying to say is it's really kind of annoying that we don't know the prices for the new consoles yet.
I mean, you heard it here. Damiani says there's no reason for him to pick up a Series X or PlayStation 5.
At this point.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody told me that,
stuff,
I'd be like, yeah, that make I
Damiani,
understand.
unblur your face, man.
Oh,
I don't know. It's kind of
did
nice.
it go blurry? Sorry.
Yeah.
I was
to
reading
me,
I'm reading the specs on there and I have it full screen, so my camera went away for a second. That's probably why. So I you know what? Hearing it from Ben, I think I'm very passionate about this, so I might be overselling a bit how much of an impact. And thinking about it a little bit more logically, like just hearing someone else say it sometimes is good to hear. We're so late in the game, I don't think this is going to actually affect anything other than timing, maybe for Microsoft and Sony. Because they can still change the price. At this point, everything's set for their systems. They can't change what's in them. They're done. Like they're coming out. But if they want to eat some more cost, one of them could say, "Ooh, that GPU is gonna be $499, and like we were gonna charge $600 for a console. Maybe we go to $550, and like we can eat a little bit more cost." And like our analysis shows now. But yeah, again, like how significant is this game going to impact people who only care about consoles? I mean, maybe it is more just for fodder for like the old like PC versus console stuff. Like it's like, haha, PC gets to look at consoles again and like make fun of them for a few years, and then consoles surpass, or consoles catch up and they're like, hey, look at us, look what we got. But I love both.
Consoles aren't never going to catch up, Damiani.
I mean, with their exclusives, like once those exclusives start running out from Sony, you can't.
See.
But I mean, even some of those apparently are coming to PC. They said so. It's like
Bloodborne on PC.
Everything just come on PC. I enjoy playing games on both console and PC. It's specifically this announcement didn't really sway me into not buying Xbox or PS5 at the moment right now, so much as their lack of software at launch. That is the key thing right now for both Microsoft and Sony that is keeping me from being interested in pre-ordering when those go live.
I think that because you guys mentioned that Sony and Microsoft would change their pricing structure based on these things. I think that like societal, like their knowledge of audience reaction to sticker shock is the biggest contributor to that. Like they're going to try to get it down as far as they can, while not losing out so much money. Because like if the PS5 and Xbox Series X come out any higher than $599, people would lose their marbles, and $599 is way too expensive already. Like they've got to be $499 or less, or people are gonna freak. And to me, like the funny thing with this, and I mean, I was already on this boat. Like I've got Game Pass for PC, and I love it. My PC just is a Series X because Microsoft has made it pretty clear they don't care where you play this stuff, just do it. So to me, it's like this is a nail in the coffin of the Series X for anyone who already has a PC and just needs to upgrade their video card that wasn't going to get a PlayStation. It's like, okay, well, they're not going to get a Series X. They'll get the 3070, which will cost roughly the same amount. Like that to me is a pretty direct analog. Since the architecture of the games is already set up that way, whereas where Microsoft is just like, there aren't exclusives. Like you can play everything on the PC.
Well, if the number one thing is to get Game Pass subscriptions, right? They just want to give you as many avenues as possible to do that.
Right. And that's why I think this impacts Microsoft Series X more than PlayStation 5, because they've got those exclusives and those are the draw, whereas the PC Series X architecture is nearing a confluence where it's like the same thing. It's just you bought a prepackaged gaming PC called a Series X, or you already had a PC. Like, Microsoft doesn't care. They just want you to have Game Pass.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think too, one thing to, that does need to be kept in mind in terms of the price is that, like the console, whether it's 500 or 600, like you've got everything, right?
Right.
Whereas these graphic card, like the low end's 500, but if you're like me and like, you haven't updated your PC in a few years,
right,
then it's like you need everything. Like you need a new motherboard, you need a new CPU, you need the new SSDs that are going to be comparable to the consoles.
Yeah, I mean, I just quote unquote upgraded.
Thing, so
yeah,
I just quote unquote upgraded my PC for $2,000, like a few months back. Like this thing costs $4,000 so far now total.
It is very.
And it's
true.
like I need it for my job, so it's an expense. But like, yeah,
having to keep tabs on all of that, like make sure like these cards are compatible with like your motherboard. I mean, these cards actually are 3-slot PCIe 3rd or 4th gen, and people are saying like I think it's like you gotta check your like model number, make sure that it has enough space to handle that, and that it can get also the power. Everyone's gonna have fun with this. The power source for the 3080, I believe 3090
12
is
pins
12
or
pin.
like
They're apparently all the manufacturers include an adapter because everyone has 2 8-pins. It's like, or 2 6-pins depending on your thing, but the 2 8-pin I think is the standard. So you're gonna have to like take those. It's like a 4-4, and like I don't know. It's weird. I was reading it, and it's like that's just one of the things. We just assume that's gonna work and be fine, and
you can see it in the Digital Foundry video because they got to look at it early.
It's there. That's all the stuff you got to keep track of. So it's not. There definitely is benefits to just going with the console. If you don't really need the bleeding edge latest stuff, and you're perfectly fine with things running pretty nicely on your home console, then as you like Blood said, like there are values to a closed system and having that type of system available to you, and that ease of pretty much plug and play with all the stuff you get. The one thing I did want to point out I forgot about is obviously ray tracing is on everything now, so like on the new consoles you're going to have it, so that's not the benefit. The Nvidia, what they do offer, and Nvidia GPUs are not in the new consoles, but they are in Switch. Not the new GPUs, but Nvidia GPUs power Tegra powers the Switch, is Nvidia's DLSS, their machine learning that basically like does, I don't know the technical thing for it. I apologize. I should just look it up right now. But
it's AI upscaling.
Yeah, AI upscaling is a good way to put it, I guess. That could benefit. That's going to be a huge benefit for people playing on PC. But if these consoles ever decide to take Nvidia up on these, but especially Nintendo, we're talking about maybe what they might do with their next iteration of Switch, whatever they do. This is a workaround for maybe not having to go all out for specs if DLSS will carry some of that load and allow you to run games at higher resolutions without having the most powerful GPU inside of your machine. So that's always like a wild card to me. It seems to work pretty decently, but I'm most interested about how that will impact games in this coming generation, essentially, especially with PC stuff.
Well, and they've been branching into like unexpected, weird other territories. Like my voice right now, you're hearing me. I'm using RTX voice,
right? Which is also available.
And
on
apparently
GTX
they're gonna,
now.
they're gonna upgrade all that stuff. And like I've got like 12 fans in here, and like the attack is a little slow, so sometimes the front parts of my sentences get dropped, and like you can hear it a little bit. I don't love the way it sounds. But the fact that I can stream and do podcasts and stuff with the air conditioner on and fans blowing like literally on me, in my 95-degree apartment, it's not nothing. It's a nice feature. Thanks, Nvidia, for that.
And I know
weird
some people
witch
don't like
science.
it, but the the baked-in capture software they have now that even works
Yeah.
on an older card like mine.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like it's pretty convenient.
I use it all the time.
That's the
so
one I
good
had used for PC
for
capture.
me and convenient. And then even like their streaming software, apparently their broadcaster, they're
Yeah.
adding more functionality to it. I'm actually going to test it out because of two things. Apparently, you can apply RTX filters to other people in voice chat with you to fix their audio. It's doing it, and apparently it'll use some AI machine stuff to help make your stream run smoother somehow. I just caught a glimpse of this headline of it, and I was just
Strange.
like, if there, I mean, who knows if it even works as advertised, but I'm all for people trying
Wow.
out new things with streaming tech and pushing
Yeah.
other people to improve their products, because it's really nice at this era that there's no more people are still trying to make streaming software and pushing, so there's no one dominant thing, so that like everyone is like trying to like up their game with that. It's nice to not, when you don't have a monopoly on stuff.
Any sort of RTX functionality can make Patreon.com work better? Do you know if they've been looking
Sure.
into that at all?
But
If
we
the Patreon could just stop deleting
those posts.
comments.
Yeah, that's kind of the
that
main
would
thing
be-
I'm looking at
That'd be
here.
fine.
Yeah.
Like if we
We're
could just
gonna
get
need
that function.
3100, that gold edition one.
Ooh, okay.
It's coming out January, apparently. Very limited, 500 quantity only.
Yeah.
If you get those,
you have to sponsor
Is
Nvidia
that the
on
one in
their
that Total
Patreon.
War build?
yeah, you give
Remember
Nvidia
Avenger
access to
car?
our Patreon account, and then they will fix it. They will use machine learning to improve those Patreon numbers.
Well, if you are interested in getting a brand new graphics card and you're going to be spending more money on that than you would potentially spend on a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, you might not have to worry, because according to a 2020 corporate report, Sony wants to bring more first-party PlayStation games to the PC. They've already brought Death Stranding and Horizon. I think Horizon was the more interesting get there because it had been a while since Horizon launched, where Death Stranding was like kind of known when it was announced. Like, something else was happening.
Unfortunately, Horizon stumbled out of the gate
Port-
for a lot of people.
It's bad, right? Isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh, it's a bad port? Ooh.
yeah.
Those are on the
Glitchy
same
or
engine,
just-
so that sort of makes sense to me that it ended up being
The
the second
Decimate,
one.
yeah.
Oh, I forgot they're on the same engine. Wow.
Yeah.
It worked out well enough for Sony that they want to do more of it. According to this report, SIE aims to achieve robust revenue growth by accelerating the virtuous cycle that has been established for the PlayStation platform. This entails increasing active users and playtime, enhancing network services, and reinforcing content IP so that consumers select PlayStation as their platform of choice, especially Spider-Man fans. Targeted outcomes include growth in active users, stronger retention, and a shorter cash conversion cycle from which expanded cash flow can be expected. We will explore expanding our first-party titles to the PC platform in order to promote further growth in our profitability. They seem like they were surprised this worked out at all. Like they just had this idea like a year ago. But clearly this was something they could have done. This is something they knew people were going to buy. It doesn't necessarily indicate what broke within the company for them to be like, let's just do it.
The club, Sony. This was just happened with Sega Atlas. They were like so shocked by the overwhelming success of their games on PC. All of them are coming to PC.
We got to do more of this. Yeah.
It's like, we've been telling you, asking for this. What are you? It's like they don't believe people. They don't believe their consumers. This is hilarious, but yeah, sorry.
Yeah, and also Sony apparently
put-
just discovering a lot of animosity between consoles and the PC community. Competition from online PC games and players from other industries is expected to continue to intensify. The fundamental growth strategy will be to innovate and evolve the PlayStation platform. To this end, SIE intends to make proactive investments to reinforce content IP and work to raise brand value, foster communities and user engagement, while enhancing DTC services. Love those DTCs. They get closer to users.
We need to all try to talk like that.
What the
I'm a
hell
little
business
lost on
dork
this one.
speak was that?
It's hard.
Yeah, it's just like,
I feel
you can only
dirty.
do it for so long.
I feel like a lot of that is like we're gonna do our jobs.
Yeah,
and we're just gonna-
exactly.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, we need to make more money.
And those
like
were the two
they said
relevant
our goal
paragraphs.
is to innovate and evolve, and it's like, I assume.
Yeah. Good. Baseline goals. Yep. Good.
We're gonna grow the brand. I'm like, okay,
They had machine learning.
That's kind of the point.
Right, that
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
I do want to say though, the idea of PlayStation exclusives coming to PC is kind of like a perfect storm for me in a lot of ways, where like for Horizon, for instance, it was like it had been long enough since I played that game that I was hungry for another playthrough. And, even though that port had issues, the idea of playing something in an improved format without my PS4 Pro is so loud, and so not having to listen to that, it's just as somebody who enjoys those games enough that they would want to double dip, it makes me realize that they have a pretty strong catalog there. Like, I would double dip for Bloodborne in a heartbeat. The fastest thing I ever did in my life. Spider-Man, do it in a heartbeat.
Engagement, indeed.
Yes.
Yeah, it would.
I also
Would
think
that be a
it should
proactive
noted-
investment on your part? Ian?
That would be a proactive investment in the fostering of my enjoyment of their
In your
properties.
DTC services?
In my DTC. What does that even mean?
I also think it should be noted that Sony did not publish Death Stranding on PC.
Right.
It's 505.
That was 505, yeah. So this really is the only thing that they've done is Horizon. So it's very interesting to see that put out there as a test case to where they thought that, hey, this is old enough that it's not going to cannibalize our PlayStation 4 sales right now, and we have Forbidden West on the way, so let's do it and get people hungry for PS5. It makes me feel like Nintendo's mobile strategy is like, oh yeah, we're going to put stuff out on mobile to get people interested in Animal Crossing, and then when Animal Crossing hits Switch, we've got a couple million new people that are familiar with it.
I think the thing, like, that makes sense. I think just the thing that is consistently kind of annoying about PC is you really invest in the platform, and a lot of times you just have to wait, right? And so it's like, let's say you get introduced to all these new games that you couldn't play before because you don't have a PlayStation 4. When their sequels come out, you're not necessarily playing them on PC. That could change, of course, but I just feel like a lot of times that delayed release can be frustrating, especially when it's your preferred way of playing things.
So you should maybe
Or
hold
when you
off
have
on
to
a
deal with,
Bloodborne on
console
PC because
exclusive.
then Bloodborne 2 comes out and you're screwed,
Yeah.
right? No?
Well,
No.
I mean, you've got Elden Ring, which is multi-platform, right?
Right.
So,
But, so congratulations, you're all executives now at PlayStation. What's going next? Is it Bloodborne? What do we...
It's Bloodborne.
It's
Is it Riggs?
damn right it's Bloodborne.
Make it
Bloodborne's a good
Bloodborne.
pick. Yeah.
Days Gone?
Bloodborne needs the PC port. You know what I mean? Like, we need that game has some
It's the
things that could
savior we
be
need right now.
technically improved, and it's an absolutely phenomenal game that has withstood the test of time fiercely.
You think over...
and its own technical limitations.
Yes, it is.
Like,
Yes,
it surpasses its own
Yes.
flaws with,
Yes.
with beautiful perfection.
Overall, that would be positively received compared to, obviously, a lot of the PlayStation fans that would be upset that they are losing an exclusive. You think Bloodborne
I don't think
Wait.
a single human
Manage
being
that.
would be mad that Bloodborne is on PC.
How could you?
Unfortunately, you have not seen
How could
console
you?
fanboys.
How could you be mad?
They'll be too busy.
Oh,
You've
people-
already
and
played
playing
it.
and
Oh, it does.
complaining
It's
about
it's
it while
it's the
playing.
integrity of
They
the
were
whole thing.
so mad about
yeah.
Horizon. They were so
Oh,
mad.
I
yeah.
forgot. I
Those
forgot
aren't
that
Souls
people don't.
Horizon fans aren't Souls people.
Well,
people won't
Damiani, don't
complain.
forget that the human mind is not capable of understanding that something being over here doesn't also take it away from over here. Things
Yeah.
can just be
It
equal
devalues
on
my
two.
favorite brand. You're attacking
Oh,
my
God,
brand,
yeah.
Ian.
Ian, are you going to read all the
Stop
comments
it.
stating otherwise before next week? Is that you with that job that gets to read those comments?
Would that I could Thanos everyone.
Oh,
Stop
jeez.
DTCing my console.
Daniel Bloodworth made a lovely little game for us to play, but we do not have time to play it. Blood, is it cool if we do that next week?
Let's play it anyway.
Oh, it could be. Hey, all of you can
Up
make
to
this
you.
an extremely quick game. Are we ready?
Let's do it.
I should not be in
Lightning
the play
round.
since I'm part of the.
Hey,
Yeah.
they might
I was
just,
part of the selection.
they might just
so.
kick back and let it go. You might have to step in. We haven't played this a while on the Easy Allies podcast. It is Press Release Me. I'm going to read several press releases, and I'm leaving it up to the panelists to let me know when they want these press releases to stop, and then I will move on to the next press
Basically,
release.
each person taps out, and whoever's last taps out. That's as far as we get.
But keep in mind, this is news. This is stuff. People are tuning into a news podcast. They want to know these things. This is relevant information in the gaming space. And I will attach just a little bit of a different personality to each of these reads just to get you in the mood. Take a sip of water first.
relevant information in the gaming space.
Joren, a company devoted to introducing high-quality interactive entertainment to the world, has announced the launch of free-to-play magical girl RPG Magikami on its platform today. The Bishujo stylized title, featuring 12 customizable city pop characters, has players forge bonds, unlock skills, and discover each girl's inner possibility in an effort to save Shibuya from a demonic force. Magikami is one of many headliners featured on Joren, which includes English vocalized versions of the massively popular Kamehime project, Versus Tales, and over 100 premium Japanese games. Our team is extremely proud that Magikami is considered a key part of Joren's introductory catalog, says a representative of Studio MGCM, the developer behind Magikami. We can't wait to cultivate a new community on this platform and look forward to playing other games that will find a home on this exciting new ecosystem. Magikami takes place after demons from another dimension appear to wreak havoc on Shibuya and its citizens. When a black cat grants a group of 12 girls a range of mysterious powers, players take on the role of a young man tasked with leading each magical girl to victory. Each skirmish features smooth 3D auto-battle gameplay. A flexible skill system may be used to unlock a variety of flashy movesets for each character, and fans will be able to customize each girl's outfit however they see fit. Players can also explore the gacha for their kawaii get-ups. Magikami is now available to play for free on Joren. Fans can expect the game to be updated on the platform daily with news and rewards. We made it! We did the whole thing!
They're too strong.
Did you think for a second we were going to have you stop reading about magical girls?
No.
You're out of your mind.
No.
We're riding
If
that
you want
train
us to
all
release-
the way.
That's why I made it the first one.
Anime
Unfortunately,
sex games, we're all in, baby.
unfortunately, hot girls are gone as we move on to the next one.
That gotcha line, though, that was my main reason for keeping that in the
I had to
stack.
pick
Oh
that
my
one.
gosh.
Blood gave me
That's the
10.
new-
I picked a handful.
That's the new Easy Ally slogan. Unfortunately, hot girls are gone.
SNK Corporation has announced that its celebrated Metal Slug series will appear in Half Brick Studios' Jetpack Joyride on iOS and Android devices today for 3 weeks only. The crossover features some of Metal Slug's most well-known characters and vehicles as in-app
release
purchases for
me.
fans to enjoy as they
no.
wreak havoc with their bullet-powered jetpacks. The event also allows players to unlock special Metal Slug-themed costumes, vehicles, and jetpacks as rewards for their accomplishments. We are thrilled to be collaborating with one of mobile gaming's most beloved developers, says Koichi Toyama, company president of SNK Corporation. We believe the high-octane world of Metal Slug complements Jetpack Joyride's endless chaos well.
Release
and we
me.
can't wait for fans of
Yeah,
both.
release
All right.
me. Get me out of here. Get me out of here.
Giant Scam Industries, winner of the Most Misleading Company Name Award 2 years in a row, is beyond pleased to announce today their quickfire VR arena shooter Snapshot VR is now available in Steam's Early Access. Following a
Release
successful
me.
early access launch on Viveport, the team at Giant Scam has been hard at work implementing
Yeah,
fixes,
release me.
polishing up
Get
the
me outta
gameplay,
here.
adding features, and engaging
No,
with their
release.
dedicated... All right.
Should polish up.
It's
I wanted to be released after that first dumb sentence.
it's magical girls or nothing, Brandon.
Don't be afraid. Here comes Squadron 51 to save the Earth from an alien invasion. Squadron 51 is set to take off in 2021 to fight the invaders on PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Squadron 51 is a sci-fi shoot-'em-up game packed with action, developed in Brazil by Lumiart Studio and Ferrarama Films. A games development studio and film production company joined forces to create an outstanding game filled with cinematographic references. Thank you, film podcast host. In gameplay and stylized full-motion video cinematics. It's a dynamic spaceship shooter with 2D gameplay combined with a 3D environment, all in glorious black and white. The game's aesthetics refer to the cinema of the 1950s. In Squadron 51, players will have to beat 11 different levels filled with hundreds of enemy ships and demanding bosses. The fights will take place in various scenarios: snowy mountain peaks, forests, or in-between city skyscrapers. The game offers local cooperation mode, with the second player able to join the game at any time to help a friend. During the gameplay, players will earn points that allow them to unlock new, more deadly weapons and special upgrades for their fighter planes. Every stage of the game is filled with live-action cutscenes shot by a professional film crew, with real human and alien actors, all supervised by the co-creators of the project from Ferrarama Films. The final version of Squadron 51 will feature over 50 cutscenes. Gamescom 2020 is a great opportunity to present a unique behind-the-cinematics trailer, which sheds more light on how the numerous full-motion videos are made. Characterization, costumes, and CGI specialists will have many hours preparing all the characters to look like they were taken alive from the old sci-fi movies. We knew this world was being watched by other intelligent species greater than man. They finally found their way to Earth from a distant corner of outer space. We, humans, welcomed them with open hearts, but we were fooled. They promised us a bright future and a good partnership of different species, but it quickly ended. It turned out that Vega Corporation has no good intentions toward the inhabitants of our planet. Director Zarog, a powerful leader of alien enterprise, immediately started to implement his plan to enslave humankind. Fortunately, a group of daredevils formed a resistance unit ready to fight the invaders. Squadron 51 will have to face a technologically advanced fleet of flying saucers, but fear not, they definitely don't lack the courage. It's time to join the rebels and take a flight. What was it about that one?
Damn.
Was that
Well,
was that
press
sexy
release.
too for some reason, or what?
That's a press release, man.
I mean, I think it sounded kind of interesting, but it was just a good read. Like, you really captured the alien.
You
the
did
voice,
the
the voice was a good choice.
Yeah, I stayed in that one because you nailed the alien classic invasion vibes.
I felt like I was in the sci-fi drive-in restaurant
Nice.
in Hollywood Studios, Florida.
Having
You know?
just played a lot of Disraeli Humans, you put me
more?
right back there.
That is a compliment for sure. Responding to suggestions that its latest trailer looks somewhat similar to Cyberpunk 2077,
Release me.
development studio
Release
Double
me.
Moose, the outfit behind forthcoming Old People Mayhem sandbox Just Dial Ready, also widely known within the industry as Double What, has suggested any likenesses is purely coincidental. Hype for CD Projekt
release
Red's
me.
latest. There we go. Thank you.
You held on, Damiani.
You did. See, there your read
Yeah.
made me. Yeah.
Yeah.
You bring
It
a
was a
lot
bait
to
read.
The bias
yeah,
here.
It was a bait
guys.
read.
I felt
It was a bait
yeah, I
read, but
just-
still, like, we would have bailed
I'm
on that
kidding.
anyway.
I hear
Yeah.
see the words, I read them, I hear voices in my head.
It's true.
Also this week, there was a lot of other news, a lot of other headlines. I'm going to go through these headlines as quickly as possible. Feel free to shout out stuff if you would like to let our
This
viewers
is the
know
fast
more.
part now, Damiani.
Yeah. For the panelists and listeners to know at the same time, Ubisoft confirms PS5 will only be backwards compatible with PS4 games. Yes. Right. So
Yes.
no PS3, PS2, or PS1. Not that
Yeah.
any of us were expecting it, but Sony didn't say anything. Ubisoft had to do it. Speaking, but hold on, don't go making Ubisoft the heroes just yet. Tom Clancy's Elite Squad removed
no.
raised fists from their trailer and from the game,
right.
which appeared to criticize Black Lives Matters, and which is a excellent
Just-
way to do that
Remember,
indirectly in video
Ubisoft
game
Just ahead
form.
of their next
Doesn't make
event.
political games.
Yeah, just ahead of their next event.
They're-
You can't make a Tom Clancy game and not be political.
That's
I know.
they
I know.
are
I know.
ridiculous.
Yes, I
They are
know.
ridiculous.
It's like
It was like straight up
And I would
the Black
yeah,
Lives Matter
I'd,
logo
I'd,
too.
I'd point you on over to that trailer, but it does
Very
not out there
slightly
anymore.
different.
Chris Tales got a November 17th launch date. The Euden Chronicles Kickstarter is
Nice.
done and raised more than $4.5 million. So
That-
there you go.
very nice.
That might be the
Nice.
best news of 2020.
Pretty good. Also heartwarming, Children of Morta's Paws and Claws charity DLC. They made a DLC just for charity, raised over $50,000 for the International Humane Society.
That's incredible.
Well done, Children of Morta.
Very nice.
Kate Bishop coming to Avengers. She will lead into Hawkeye's appearance in November. Apparently has a different skill set. We'll see if that actually happens. But
I don't know anything about Kate Bishop, sadly, but she looked really fun in that trailer. Good vibe.
I
Good
agree.
vibe.
More
Yeah.
bows and arrows coming to this game, but she will be in the game before Hawkeye is. That was recently announced in their war table. Ninja, Mr. Beast, G2 Esports, and AIM Lab all collaborated to donate $1 million to Special Effect for Fall Guys. So all 4 of them get skins. So one of those skins will be a Ninja skin. Mr. Beast
Can't beat 'em, join 'em.
Yeah, Mr. Beast and Ninja were battling for a while, but this was just literally a complete social media stunt from Fall Guys that worked out very well for special effect. So, and kudos to all of them for contributing. There's a game currently on Steam called Biohazard Village, but don't get excited because it's not what you think it is. No way you can make a game that fast, but they were just making some horror game, and I'm guessing we're like, hey,
Right.
Yeah.
you know what we could call this thing.
Ooh.
So
You
Why
could
would
make
you
a
do
game
that,
fast,
though?
though.
Because then you get
What?
shouted out on a podcast.
why would you only
Right,
sell a
but-
Mario game for 6 months? I don't, it's
It just it
Desperation.
immediately discounts. It immediately discounts any possibility of your game being good or having any scruples.
Want to be better.
Yeah, check that game in. Let me know if there's got any scruples in there.
Why don't you
Maybe
be
I'll
this
play it.
masterpiece? Yeah.
Yeah, it's freaking incredible.
Dead by Daylight is coming to next gen on everything. It'll be cross-platform on Steam, Stadia, and Switch. Currently, that is all that has been announced. So you'll be able to carry over those save files. But
We should do another Dead by Daylight stream.
Cross progression.
Cross-progression,
So it's already
yeah.
cross-platform play, but you'll
It's
be
not
able to take
cross-play.
your save file with you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That game is sweet.
Game is good.
Vlambeer, who developed Nuclear Throne and Left Rousers, closing its doors, which is normally a very sad thing, but they're pretty jovial about the whole thing. They've been in business for 10 years. It's their 10th anniversary, and they're like, we're moving on. We're just going to, as a group, we're going to go on and do other things. So best of luck to the whole team. Edge of Eternity is nearing the end of early access, which is also very good to hear. Planning on releasing next spring. Cloud gaming revenue reached $585 million in 2020, estimated to be $4.8 billion by 2023. AT&T no longer interested in selling Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment. Woo!
Hey.
Which is like DC Fandom, I guess. Was it like the last thing
did
they were waiting on?
Fandom
I guess
Yeah.
that went well.
It might
The
have,
Batman
dude.
saved it.
They're checking, yeah. Do people still, they still like Batman. Good to know. All right, we'll keep it.
I do.
Madden NFL 21 sold 20% more copies in its first week than last year's Madden, for potentially all sorts of
Despite
reasons.
apparently being terrible.
Right, that's the thing that confuses me.
But
Is
Everyone's
seeing-
saying, like, I heard
But
nothing but bad things.
Everybody's
about
at home. They want to watch
As
football
we
happen.
learned on this podcast, the reviews didn't come out until after the early access version. So
it. Ah.
Yeah, we will
Good
speak of those
point.
reviews very shortly. Rocket League going free to play, which we knew, but they are dropping PS Plus and Switch Online services. So if you play on those platforms, you do not have to go
Do
through
you
those
know?
services.
I have a question.
That's pretty huge.
It's still not
Yeah.
going free to play on Xbox, though, right?
not
You still
according. No,
guys- Cool. Okay.
no plans to drop that service.
Like it's like Fortnite, you don't need to be subscribed to Plus
Right,
to play
correct.
online. Oh, okay.
Love this, Ben. Pokemon Masters EX was trending for a bit in lowercase, which is a bad idea. Can you guess why? Pokemon Masters EX.
Master Sex.
Yay!
Yay!
I actually saw that on Twitter, and I really thought it was just people posting Pokemon Masters,
Pokemon Masters
having sex.
Pokemon
I
Master
really
sex.
thought that's what it was.
I mean, it
And
kind
so I
of
was like,
was.
I'm
It
not.
turned into that.
Maybe it is now.
Yeah, I totally forgot about the mobile game, and I really thought it was just a
Twitter,
hashtag for
yeah.
that. Yeah.
they just recently changed that name too from whatever was it before. Did you see the Game Explain tweet?
No.
They're like, now you know why we're not Games Explained.
Oh, sure.
No.
Game Sex.
There you
Point.
go. They should
Just take it one game at a
they should
time.
switch
Right.
it over. Yeah.
But love when that stuff happens. Love it even more when it happens to Pokemon. And it's officially fall in Animal Crossing New Horizons. So if you've been putting that game off and you're like, play it when the season changes. It happened. Go check that stuff out.
I have fallen off the Animal Crossing wagon, and that feels bad. I enjoy that game.
Get on it.
Get back on
Yeah,
the
there
wagon,
you go.
baby.
There you go. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Yay! It is time for Love and Respect.
Love and respect.
From Chris Brown. Hi, allies. About 2 years ago, I developed motion sickness for the first time while playing Fortnite with my dad. When I died, watching him play led me to turn off the game within minutes. At first, I wasn't sure what caused it, but over time, I discovered that when camera control is taken away in third-person games, my sense of balance is thrown off. It's a very specific issue, one that never bothered me before, but it has meant that I've had to change the way I play games, or skip games entirely. No target locking in Bloodborne, no snap aiming in Red Dead Redemption 2, and definitely no watching streams of third-person games. This has given me a new appreciation for accessibility features in games and made me thankful that I'm still able to play games and enjoy the medium we all love despite this new issue. Have you ever had to change how you play or skip a game altogether, whether due to something like motion sickness, a disability, or another reason? Much love and respect, Chris Brown. Kudos to Brad Ellis, who told me to turn the camera shake down in Avengers, which I could tell. I'm like, why do I feel like I'm in a car accident this whole time? What's going on?
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
like, oh, I just would have never. And the game looks so much better. Like the effects wise, it really frames stuff. That I can really appreciate. I'm sure if you watch my review next week, you'll be like, that's what those first couple shots were doing. I'm trying to figure out the difference there. But had never
I
thought about
definitely-
shake in a game before, ever.
I definitely have turned down camera shake. I don't like camera shake. I hate it. Just game design wise, I don't like it when the camera's taking control away from me. And as a design philosophy thing, that's not what I'm here to do. But yeah, I've got to mess with the field of view and stuff on a lot of games on PC. I try to sit back from my monitor as much as I can because if I'm too close, I get kind of woozy. I cannot watch someone else play PSVR because like something about the frame rate on the TV or something
VR
just
in
makes
general,
me like
yeah, it's
instantly. Like Index, I've been in an Index all day playing like Elite Dangerous or whatever. I can't play walking games in VR, but like Alex, where you teleport, was totally fine. But like I cannot watch anyone play PSVR, or I like instantaneously feel terrible.
Yeah. You know me in VR. I can't do it. My mind doesn't like movement not matching up with my movement. So it goes fast camera movements. It's basically like first person. There's just so much cutting and movement, and it's also trying to simulate what you're seeing. So my like brain, just, like best on my knowledge, my brain doesn't like it, and watching it is worse than playing it. I find like I can actually play it more than I can watch it. But oh man, like games that like have fast cuts, like movement like that from first person, it's like camera movement too fast. No, I'm done. I'm out.
I've gotten pretty weird about. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I've noticed too, and maybe the person who wrote in could try this. I've noticed for me if I'm too hot, I get motion sick really easily playing games. If my body temperature is too high, I don't know. Sorry, Ben, go for it.
I've gotten really weird about subtitles, and I did not always used to be this way. I play pretty not. I guess not like Tony Hawk, I suppose, but anything that has any amount of dialogue, really, I have to have subtitles on in the game. It's weird. I wasn't like that before, and I don't know if it just helps me focus more because I hate the feeling of being like, oh wait, what did they say, or how did they pronounce that? Like I just get very specific about it with games, and I even occasionally watch like an English language movie with subtitles. There's just something about it that enhances the enjoyment for me.
I've always got subtitles on now. My girlfriend's Norwegian, so like she always has them on. But like, yeah, I'm just used to it now.
Sometimes
you're
gonna
play Tony Hawk. You're gonna play Tony Hawk in Japanese though, right? Creator's intent.
It's pretty great. Tony like talks to you in the tutorials, and I don't know how anybody could walk away from those tutorials and be like anything other than Tony Hawk is an amazing guy. He's just so genuinely enthusiastic, and you're like, I want to go out and skateboard right now, Tony. You're giving me so much energy.
You just reminded me that comes out tonight.
Yeah. Yep.
It's on my computer.
I'm not just enthusiastic about the sport, enthusiastic about the games, about the franchise.
He is.
Loves it. I often wonder like how, what was Tony going through that whole time that, Pro Skater was just a bad, like ride and all that stuff. Like when 5 came out, like did he take a moment? Like I wonder how much he was affected by that stuff.
That game is a bright spot in a dark time.
But subtitles are fun, Ian, for old movies that you've seen already.
Yeah.
Like I'll go back and watch a movie I've seen 1 billion times, but I'll just pick up like, I never heard that dude in the background or that one line or something.
Rewatching Bill and Ted 2 before watching 3 because Sophia had never seen 2 or 3, obviously. So many lines in that movie where I had always thought, just because they speak like stoners or whatever.
Sure.
I just always thought wrong words, like things I've been quoting my whole life. It's just like, oh, he says that? That's weird.
Exactly. Subtitle gang.
Subtitles.
I mean, for me, first of all, this question reminds me of Rich Brown.
Brown.
Shout out.
Yeah, my wonderful guy sitting next to me for so many years at GT. Went all over the world with that guy. And yeah, he couldn't play hardly any first-person shooters. I think once in a while there'd be something to come out and maybe he would just like be all over it because it's like it didn't make him sick. I feel like one of the kill zones or something.
Which
sometimes
warms your heart because it means
random.
he's trying. It means he's popping these games
Yeah.
in and giving them a shot, even though he knows it's most likely to mess him up.
Yeah.
But I guess for myself, I think it's not a huge barrier. Like it won't stop me from playing games, but just in terms of like my own comfort, like I'm just not like a keyboard and mouse kind of guy for like shooters and 3D movement. Like it's partly getting my fingers in the right place for like a lot of the extra functions, but it's also because I did so much data entry when I was younger that it like my hands just get like real stiff and achy really quickly that way. Whereas with a controller, for some reason that doesn't happen. So I just feel a lot more comfortable with that.
Makes
It's weird. It varies for me on games on PC. Some of them I'm like Sea of Thieves. I prefer controller, but Destiny 2 is so good on keyboard and mouse. Sorry, John.
Correct.
It just makes me think of people coming in that don't necessarily know why they're turned off by a game or even just gaming in general because they are having some issue that is solvable. That there are settings they can go and adjust, and they were like, all right, maybe gaming's not for me. I hope that has not happened. You just
Inverted camera controls is one of those things.
Well,
you didn't know
Whereas,
for a long
like,
time.
Because if you haven't been playing games and you don't know about it, people pick it up and it's like, oh,
Right.
I can't. This is too complicated for me. And then you switch to the other setting, whatever it might have been on by default, and you're like, oh, now I get it. And suddenly they enjoy the game.
So
I hope that every game has as robust of settings as Last of Us Part 2. That the accessibility in that was phenomenal. Like being able to pull the view back and all the motion sickness settings and stuff. So good.
I got in the reviewer's guide for Avengers, they have a whole chunk that's like, okay, let's talk accessibility. And they brought in able gamers, and it's neat to see not only something that more games are doing, but more games are like excited about doing. And they're like, hey, here's, it's as exciting for us to tell you this as it is to tell you what, Black Widow's moveset. So,
well, and it's just nice. Like, I mean, I love that it's there for like accessibility purposes to make games more, accessible to more people, but also just like, just to make a game more customizable for everyone is always a good thing.
Also, shout out to Black Widow. That sweep, man, knocking him up in the air. Very useful.
That grapple. Good times. Hey.
That grapple's super fun.
Speaking of Avengers, from Kyle DeSormier, a very well-timed love and respect post. Salutations, allies. Square Enix's Crystal Dynamics Marvel's Avengers. I love that. Came out this week, and it made me think of a game I'll call Avenger or Not Us League. I'll name 10 Marvel characters, and the panel must decide if they were ever a part of the Avengers. 2 things to note. I used the Marvel Fan Wiki and Wikipedia to confirm if a character was in the Avengers, and there won't be any tricks like with, Johnny Storm's Human Torch was an Avenger, but Gulliver Jones's Human Torch wasn't. Hope this game is amusing. Love and respect, Y2 Kyle 89. Number 1.
This is coming at a really interesting time for me because I want to be more into comics. So this will be good. This will be good motivation.
You'll know how much work you have to do after these 10
Yeah,
names.
exactly. Probably a lot.
Brother Voodoo. Avenger or Not Us League?
I'll say not.
I'm going to say Not Us as well.
Avenger. I'm going to say Avenger. I think sometime in the 80s or something.
Ian believed. He was an Avenger. First appearance, Strange Tales number 169 in September 1973, and he joined the Avengers and the X-Men in Avengers and X-Men Axis number 9 in December of 2014.
There's a thing. I wonder if we'll sense a trend with these because the Avengers comics, I feel like they were like when weird side stuff gets popular, like in the 70s and stuff. Like Voodoo was kind of doing stuff for a second in movies.
So I'll tell you.
I wonder.
I'll tell you the first appearance then. Well, that will hopefully help. Number 2, Fool Killer. First appearance, Omega the Unknown, number 9 in July of 1977. Fool Killer. Fool Killer.
What year?
I kill fools.
1977.
Comics are great.
Not Us League?
Fool Killer.
Not Us.
Not Us, yeah.
He was not in the Justice League.
Wow.
Snow Guard, first appearance, Champions Volume 2, number 19 in June of 2018.
Not in the Justice League. Whoa.
Fairly, sorry, not in the Avengers.
2018.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Snowguard's
wait, I
new.
thought we were just talking about Avengers.
The Not Us League is throwing me.
Sure.
Snow
you
Guard.
said Snow Guard?
Snow Guard.
Avenger.
Yeah, I'm going to say Avenger as well.
I haven't gotten to a character I even heard of yet, so.
Not Us League.
Okay.
Mantis. First appearance, Avengers
Yes.
112 in June of
Avenger.
1973. Joined the giant-size Avengers.
The
Yes.
Number 4 in
Yes,
June
yes,
1975. Well done, Mantis. Shamrock. First appearance, Marvel Superhero Contest of Champions, number 1, which is also a video game, June of 1982. Shamrock.
Shamrock.
I'm gonna say
Shamrock.
yes.
Yes.
I just want it to be
Avengers.
yes. I have no idea, so I'm going to say yes.
Not Us League?
Not
gonna
Us
say
League,
Avenger.
Shamrock. Not Us
Damn.
League. Rogue. First appearance, Avengers Annual number 10, October 1981.
Yes.
Well, you told us it's Avengers Annual.
Yeah.
Just because they're in a comic, there's villains in
Yeah,
comic
I was going to
books.
say
Sure,
Not
sure,
Us.
sure.
That's true.
Alfred.
That's true.
Alfred.
I'll go
You
Not
know,
Us
the
then.
random characters.
I'll be the different.
I'm going to say Not Us as well.
I could see her being like a guest spot. Yeah, I'll say yes.
Joined the Uncanny Avengers in number 4
Oh,
in
nice.
January 2013.
Uncanny.
So that fairly recently, she joined the Uncanny Avengers in number 4. Number 7, Wizard. Come on. First
Yes,
appeared in
please.
USA Comics #1,
Yes.
August 1941.
Wizard?
Come on, please.
Let's
yes.
go, Wizard. Yes.
Get
Yes.
off, too.
Yes to Wizard.
Joined the Avengers in 173 in July of 1978.
Wizard.
Where's
Apparently,
my
Wow.
Wizard MCU?
Yo,
apparently
I want
honorary,
that.
but it
Marvel
counts.
announces Wizard coming 2025. I want that.
Is it Wizard or Wizard?
Whizzer. Wizzer. He doth
That
whiz.
just sounds
Oh
like
my gosh.
that just sounds
I love
like
it.
he
What a
pees on
name.
people.
Yeah. Son of Satan. First appearance, Ghost Rider, Volume 2, #1, September of 1973.
I'm gonna say
Boy, I hope
yes
so.
because it seems so unlikely.
I'm gonna say Avenger. Yeah.
It seems unlikely because it is unlikely. He's in the Nodus League.
Oh.
Number 9, Firebird. First appearance, Incredible Hulk, 265, in November of 1981.
Avenger.
Yes.
Firebird.
Yes.
Not us.
Joined the West Coast Avengers,
Okay,
annual
West
number
Coast.
2,
The
1987.
West Coast.
The West,
West Coast Avengers, yes.
Yeah, I know nothing about this franchise.
Not about to throw gang signs in these
Yo, where's-
podcasts.
Okay, get that.
Number 10, finally, Johnny Ohm. First appearance, Marvel Nemesis, Rise of the Imperfects.
Oh, the
Yes.
That
Wow.
Wait, I'm thinking. Did you play the? Is that the game that you're
Yes.
talking about? I played that game.
Johnny Ohm. Well,
That was a weird game.
did Johnny Ohm make it as far past
Avenger.
Rise of the Imperfects to be an Avenger?
It feels like he had to if he's in this game, but
He very much did
I'm
not.
I'm gonna
Not
say.
us.
I'm gonna say
He
not
did
us.
not. Not us League. It's just fun to make fun of Rise of the Imperfects. It's a good way to wrap it up.
Yeah. I liked that game when I played it, but it's probably terrible.
Ian can still hear us even though he's not in his chair because he's got his wonderful Logitech headphones on. Finally, not a question, but something I wanted to include from Caleb Moran. Hi, allies. Shout out to Ian. Last week he mentioned an old game called Obscure, and it triggered a flashback to my much younger years. Obscure was the first ever survival horror game I played. My parents were very strict about what games I could play as a teenager, and Obscure was a big no-no. But I did manage to play a demo of it on a demo disc that came with PlayStation Magazine. I played that demo over and over again, but eventually moved on, forgetting the game ever existed until last week's podcast when Ian mentioned it. I'm now looking forward to tracking it down and playing the full game 16 years later. Thank you, Ian and allies. Bonus, my parents didn't let me play Dark Chronicle because they didn't like the sound of the title. Love and respect from Australia. Caleb.
That's funny.
It is time for bets. Should I wait for Ian to get back? I'm worried.
yes.
We
Yeah.
got 2 bets to make up in this episode. Must have been important. You can see one of those loud fans directly.
Wait, did we have to
behind
write
Ian's
down
chair,
2
though.
different bets? I
No,
only
we
wrote
have-
down 1 bet.
No,
okay,
no, no.
okay.
He's 2
Wait,
bets
what?
from
We
prior
couldn't do
weeks.
last week's bet
Not a new, yeah.
because Madden came out on the 28th and not the 25th. There were no reviews for me to go through.
No, this is sort of it's funny.
Came out
this is
3 days
another thing where
early,
your
but yeah.
Your correction is kind of not a correction because there was a version of Madden that came out on the 25th. That's the MVP edition. And then the standard edition came out on the 28th. So it was both. There are 2 release dates.
Obscure is on Steam.
Nice.
Nice.
Easy to find.
What's Steam?
It's like Epic Game Store, but older.
Oh, okay.
Got it.
Yeah.
We got a bet
Oh,
coming
that
up.
was depressing.
We got a Steam bet coming up. But before that, it is time for next week's bet. For all the bets. We got a bet next week, and we got 2 bets to cash in on, folks. Will we come close to catching up? See, that's the problem, Bloodworth, is we can't, even if we won both of these bets, we still would be behind the other
Oh,
team.
boy.
So just kind of puts a focus on when we really got to do a good job. Next week's bet, Borderlands Psycho Krieg and the Fantastic Fustercluck launches in 1 week. When we record the next episode, how many likes will the latest tweet have on the Borderlands account? Not a reply, not a retweet of something else from 2K or anybody. This is Borderlands, their own tweet. How many likes will they have? Likes were going anywhere from 400 to 2,000 last when we checked before. What did Ian
Brandon?
finally bet?
I'm proud of you that you said it correctly. Fluster Cluck.
Yes.
I definitely would have mixed it around, for sure. Good job.
It's like Fuddruckers.
Yes, exactly.
712.
712 likes. Okay. Michael Damiani,
712.
how many likes?
5,000.
5,000.
Wow.
Going big. Ben Moore, how many likes on that latest tweet there?
Oh,
Yeah.
963.
We got it.
963. All right.
Bloodworth.
888.
I went 1.8
The
thousand.
prequel to 999.
Which is right.
8 allies, 8 months in quarantine.
But of course,
8 deaths.
that
No,
Death.
we're still around.
you take that back.
At the timing of the recording of this podcast, at least these 5 allies are still around. And of course, that isn't based on anything. Who knows what they're going to be tweeting? Who knows how many people are going to care? Last week's bet, the actual last week's bet, Wasteland 3 launched on August 27th. By this week, how many user reviews will the game have on Steam? I bet 900. Daniel Bloodworth bet 1,300. Michael Damiani bet 1,500. Michael Huber bet 211, and Ian Hank bet 399. Currently,
So they got an extra week out of it.
when I checked before, and there was no reason to check again because when I checked before, it was at 1,948. The number is only going to go up, making Michael Damiani the winner of that one at 1,500. Well done, Damiani. But
Yay.
we got another bet too. 2 bets for the price of 1. Last week's bet, Madden NFL 21 launched on August 20th. I was going to read the last 10 reviews on OpenCritic.com. How many times did I see the word Jackson, the last name of this year's cover athlete and quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens, not Baltimore for the quarterback Ravens?
I like the idea of athletes.
A bit of confusion over when that actually happened, but there are plenty of reviews up. I checked the last 10, according to OpenCritic.com. I bet that there'd be 2 mentions of Jackson. Bloodworth bet 0. Michael Huber bet 11. Brad Ellis bet 5, neither of which are on the podcast now. And Ian Hank bet 3. Out of those 10 reviews, there were 2. I win. Ha 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 ha.
Ooh.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said 2.
You said 2. You
Oh,
nailed
damn.
it.
When the second one I read on like the 6th review, and those last 4, I was like, please, baby, please, don't give this to Ian. I took it. Thank you to Game Crate and Metro, which were the 2 outlets that did put Jackson in there. We got this covered. Cheat Code Central, Polygon, God is a Geek, Push Square, Noisy Pixel, PlayStation Lifestyle, and GameSpot did not include that in their reviews. So
What's that thing from the Mask when he's like, maybe you know my friends, Washington, Benjamin, and Jackson?
Oh my god.
He's holding up money.
are you going to do mask lines now for this next part? Because it's coming up,
Oh.
this score
No!
part. I
got one,
snuck
I got
ahead.
one.
I snuck
I
ahead
got
of you.
one.
I snuck
Okay.
ahead of you last time. Are you ready?
You do one too, Damiani.
Okay.
That brings our scores to Jovial Penguins 11.
I saw
was
it
their
first.
number 1
Gotta
son,
fly.
and they treated me like number 2.
Was I not supposed to be a jovial penguin then?
That's a good one. No.
It's
You
whatever
do
you want to
you.
do.
Okay,
You do
all right.
you.
Ben, you did a
There we
wonderful
go.
job. Astonished
Thank you.
Scorpions 8. Still 3 behind. We both went up.
That one's still really good.
All boats floated to the surface, but we're still behind. Let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies. That is the place that you will go when you want to learn more about Easy Allies. If you have been to patreon.com,
go.
you will. If you've been to patreon.com/easyallies, you can go again, and there's more things happening. There's more to learn. I actually want to give a shout out because we are starting in a new month, and we have a lot of people that have been backing us in these 4 years we've been doing Easy Allies. Shout out to everybody that is currently a patron at patreon.com/easyallies. And here's me talk about Patreon every single week, inviting people to go check it out. If you are unable to be a part financially of Easy Allies, it is still a fun place you can go to learn more information about the various things that we do. There's all sorts of tiers tied to all of our fun various shows, including, as you have heard already in this podcast, for Love and Respect, and for Silver Lining at the beginning, $5 early access tier gets you early access to a lot of our varied shows, including this podcast 2 days early, but also you can submit stuff to be a part of Silver Lining and Love and Respect. And thank you very much to those that do so. Huge thank you to people sticking to the shout out tier, including the people that I'm about to mention. Ian, you're going first. I'm going after you. Damiani, you're going after me. Blood, you're going fourth. And Ben, you are last, but certainly not least. Shout out to Caleb Togi Crawford, L. Thanos, and Greg the Dark Knight Kettering.
Shout
out.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Damiani, because it was my darn fault we're doing 2 bets, I will give you 2 of the 3 things that we will do to close out this podcast. You can pick between getting to promote any Easy Allies video you'd like to promote, getting the final word on anything you disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped into your head, or sign off with your trademark sign-off. What'll it be?
Sweet. How about you sign off with your trademark?
Okay.
Because I signed off last week.
Yeah, you sure did.
So I will do the other 2 this time. Let's, for the video, You know what? Let's do the recent Don't Skip, the Hunt Down, Dawn's Don't Skip.
Yeah.
And if you, for some reason, missed our Hall of Greats, where Dawn brought that and did a great presentation there, here's your chance to catch it again in a much more polished, produced version that you will certainly enjoy. We tried to have it on Stream Team recently. It didn't win the vote, unfortunately, but maybe next time. We'll see. And
It really blows my mind in that video how he says "hunt down" instead of "hunt down."
Yeah.
It really made me think.
He really goes into it. Yeah.
It really made me think. I was like, "Is it hunt down? What's happening?"
Maybe there's like the title screen. They'll do that for them. They'll add his sound effect in. I'm gonna, for last word, I'm gonna reiterate: Black lives still matter.
Cheers.
That's the new Easy Ally slogan. Unfortunately, hot girls are gone.